Donald Trump is furious. He is furious at Kamala Harris. He is furious at Michelle Obama. But the thing getting him angriest is crowd size. More specifically, his tiny crowd size. And what really set Donald Trump off tonight during a speech in which he absolutely melted down and threw a tantrum because of crowd size was the comparison to the 75,000 people in Washington, D.C. there to see Kamala Harris speak at one of the best rallies of her campaign. And that is driving Donald Trump crazy because we know there is nothing he loves more than his crowds. And tonight he was humiliated. And we are going to get into all of that from Donald Trump's disaster rally. But before we do, if I could quickly ask you to leave a like on this video. And if you haven't already and you enjoy our channel, to hit that subscribe button. It goes a long way and it really means the world to me. Now let's get into this rally from Donald Trump and the tantrum he eventually threw.
So if you have a mail-in ballot, get that damn ballot in, please, immediately, because they've already started cheating in Lancaster. They've cheated. We caught it with 2,600 votes.
Already off to a hot start, attacking our democracy, saying that Democrats are already trying to cheat, already are cheating. Once again, no evidence from Donald Trump if they took him to court, which hopefully he is again over these lies, this deceit. He would have no evidence because they don't. All they have is lies. All they have is conspiracies. And one of the dumbest conspiracies that Donald Trump pushed tonight can be seen right here.
The economy is no good, but the stock market is only going up for one reason, because everyone thinks that Trump is going to win the election and we're going to take it to new levels. That's what he said. It's true. You want to see a market crash? If we lost this election, I think the market would go down the tubes. Now,
this lie is so stupid for so many reasons. It's just dumb. First of all, because Donald Trump has said this before, that the stock market would crash if President Biden was elected in 2020. The opposite happened. But the idea that the stock market would go up because people think you're going to be elected, but it didn't hit its all-time highs when you were elected or any point during your presidency. Actually, we saw some historic days of loss in the stock market during your presidency. I just don't know how that fits in any real reality, because of course it doesn't. It's just a lie, like we see all the time in Donald Trump's rallies, and like we saw right here.
What we're going to say, how we're going to... They meet, how can we cheat? This is their meeting. Because who the hell can win an election with open borders, transgender everybody? Men playing in women's sports. No, think of it. Men's allow millions of people through an open border, totally unvetted, totally unchecked. They come from parts unknown. They come from countries you've never even heard of, and then you find out that they came from jails and mental institutions. No, they cheat like hell, and it's a damn disgrace. So we're going to get it straightened out. We got to get it straightened out.
Just some really strange fear-mongering and just incredibly weird and, of course, transphobic comments as we increasingly see from Donald Trump's rallies. It's just the type of rhetoric that aren't we so tired of? Don't we want to move on? He is so angry. He is so aggrieved. He wants to take it out on everybody, but especially, like I said earlier in this video, on Michelle Obama right now with this comment right here.
Never, ever recover. And by the way, Michelle Obama was very nasty to me. Ooh. Oh, she was nasty. I've gone out of my way to be nice to Michelle. I've gone out of my way to be nice to Michelle. Never said a bad thing about her when other people didn't like her so much. And she hit me the other day because they're desperate. They don't want Trump back because we're going to turn this country around and show how bad they were.
Now, we watched Michelle Obama's joint rally with Kamala Harris in Michigan over the weekend, and boy, was it incredible. But it seems to be the gift that keeps on giving, because whenever Michelle Obama gives a speech, it is bound to be incredible, and it was. But that speech has carried on in driving Donald Trump crazy, taking him off of his game, which he's never really on. But whenever Trump is distracted, the worst elements of him come out. And so, Michelle Obama, thank you so much. And maybe, can we get a couple more speeches before the election? I would love that. But like I said at the beginning of this video, it wasn't just Michelle Obama and Kamala Harris driving Donald Trump crazy. Of course, it was the crowd size that he couldn't stop talking about. Just absolutely so humiliated. And so before we get into that meltdown from Trump, I want to see a comparison of that crowd size with some of Kamala Harris's speech tonight.
And that's who is asking you to give him another 4 years in the Oval Office. Not to focus on your problems, but to focus on his. And Donald Trump has told us his priorities for a second term. He has an enemies list of people he intends to prosecute. He says that one of his highest priorities is to set free the violent extremists who insulted those law enforcement officers on January 6th. Donald Trump intends to use the United States military against American citizens who simply disagree with him. People he calls, quote, the enemy from within. America, this is not a candidate for president who is thinking about how to make your life better. This is someone who is unstable, obsessed with revenge, consumed with grievance, and out for unchecked power. Donald Trump has spent a decade trying to keep the American people divided and afraid of each other. That is who he is. But America, I am here tonight to say that is not who we are. That is not who we are.
Just such an incredible message that Kamala Harris is driving home in front of 75,000 people in Washington, D.C. 75,000. That is amazing. And clearly it's getting under Donald Trump's skin, not just this rally, but other rallies that Kamala Harris has had in the past week, specifically one in Houston with Beyonce, in which Trump had this to say about.
She can't get anybody. 3 days ago, she said Beyonce was coming. So people came to see Beyonce, but Beyonce went up, thank you very much, everybody, and then she left. She didn't sing. And then they all left. She was speaking, nobody, and they were booing the hell out of her, by the way. And the fake news doesn't report those stories.
We always talk about Trump's projection, but I think this might be the worst version of it, saying that people were leaving Kamala Harris's rally early. Only happens to Donald Trump. People were booing during the rally. We've seen that happen to Trump and J.D. Vance. It's just the ultimate projection, but he didn't stop there with talking about crowd size and lying and showing how insecure he is. We can see more right here.
To Butler, we had 107,000 people in Butler. Can you imagine? We had 107,000 people in Butler celebrating the life of a great gentleman, a great fireman, Corey, a great firefighter and respected guy.
Donald Trump's Butler rally was nowhere near 100,000 people. But what's so funny to me, and what's so smart, what the Kamala Harris campaign did, is not only was her rally so huge in Washington, D.C. tonight, like I said, 75,000 people, but because it was so big, I project that in the next couple of days, Donald Trump is going to start making a different rally comparison. He's not going to be saying Butler was 100,000 people. He's going to be saying January 6th, which it was his speech that took place in the same location, in the Ellipse, in Washington, D.C. He's going to start saying, well, January 6th was such a bigger speech, bringing it up, backfiring on himself. I can't wait to see that happen. That's my prediction. We'll see if it plays out. But I think I don't want to see any more from Donald Trump tonight, but I do want to see more from Kamala Harris calling him out in this clip right here.
What Donald Trump has never understood is that e pluribus unum, out of many, one, isn't just a phrase on a dollar bill. It is a living truth about the heart of our nation. Our democracy doesn't require us to agree on everything. In fact, we like good arguments from time to time. Just think of your own family, right? It's not the American way to not have disagreements. We don't shy away from robust debate. In fact, we like a good debate, don't we? We like a good debate. And the fact that someone disagrees with us does not make them the enemy within. That's right. They are family, neighbors, classmates, co-workers, They are fellow Americans. And as Americans, we rise and fall together. America, for too long, we have been consumed with too much division, chaos, and mutual distrust. And it can be easy then to forget a simple truth. It doesn't have to be this way. It doesn't have to be this way. It is time to stop pointing fingers. We have to stop pointing fingers and start locking arms. It is time to turn the page on the drama and the conflict, the fear and division. It is time for a new generation of leadership in America. And I am ready to offer that leadership as the next President of the United States of America.
Donald Trump's administration will be about anger, revenge, and grievance. Kamala Harris has a to-do list. Donald Trump has an enemies list. Could there be a clearer contrast in this race? I don't think so. And that's what we need to continue to talk about every single day, and it's what we're going to talk about on this show. And if you want to support that, as always, you can hit that subscribe button. You can leave a like on this video. And if you're stuck around to the end, you can drop a blue heart in the comments. And until next time, I'll see you soon.